Okay, this one is going to be quick and easy, not because I finished them in an afternoon, but because the assembly is very basic and there were no surprises. There was no real choice for loadout, not much choice for a pose, and no weird fiddly bits to bother with. You just clap them together, scrape off some very minor mould lines, and then get to it. The Haruspecs was the only alternative build, where you replace the cute pug dog head, biocannon and arms with big claws and that erupting thing-like maw that it has. But while the Haruspecs was good, it just can't compare to the Exocrine, so I didn't bother magnetising. And then the Haruspecs became the ultimate character assassin in the new codex, able to ignore look out sir, chomp characters, and heal from doing so. Drat. But you know what? Two of the Exocrine I bought came pre-assembled, which made them about 2/3 the normal cost when I grabbed them on eBay, so not like I had much choice. But then again, the Exocrine is getting 2 inches more move, more weapon skill, more ballistic skill, more wounds, and the cannon is losing double shoot but getting a bunch more attacks, and a bit more strength and AP and extra damage, and is now blast. It's losing its +1 to hit, but gaining ignore cover. Meanwhile, the Haruspec's grasping tongue is only a single assault doing 3 wounds. Most characters you'd be wanting to put in the crosshairs and ignore look out sir are going to be over that. And they still have their armor saves. And they have the troops defending them that are likely to rip apart the Haruspecs to stop it getting another shot. I don't know, I see too many uncertainties, so maybe this was the right choice after all. But it could still be a laugh to field a Haruspecs at some point. So, after priming, I moved on to painting. Now with their chonky dimensions, these 3 big boys totally drained my current pot of Macragge blue as I coated all the areas of skin. Zaru's purple all over the chitin plates, on their limbs, the cannon, their back and their heads, and then white scar in the muzzle of the biocannon and in the vents and on the joints and gills and of course the eyes along the sides of the cannon. Nihilic oxide once the white scar is dry, the watery nature of this paint letting it settle in troughs and leave the ridges lighter to give it a hint of a bioluminescent glow. And then a smothering of Nuln oil that totally drained that bottle as well. I ordered a fresh one and it arrived opened and actually used. Not sure how that happens. People painting in the hobby shop, hey, we have an order for some Nuln oil. Take this one, I only just opened it, it's still good. Okay. A dry brush of Imric blue to accent the length of the blades and claws and the ribs, the accents along the jaws, teeth and the cheeks. And then an even more frugal dry brush of Ethereum blue to give the blades a nice glowing look and to accent the ribs and joints, and then to make the end of the cannon stand out and merge slowly the blue with the nihilic oxide. And finally a dry brush of Genestealer purple on the chitin plates, which also covers up all of my previous misses when I was doing the blue dry brush and grazed the plates with my more liberal sweeps of the brush. And now for the base. Having seen these big boys drain 2 pots of paint, I decided to preserve my reserve of slate stone. When I first purchased the slate stone, I ordered a larger size, but these pieces were definitely too big for the basic troops, so I decided to just sit on it because I figured I had some big base models on my agenda. And here we go. I superglued several large flat pieces all over the base and then spread the Elmer's glue around the rest of it and sprinkled on the smaller pieces. I pressed them down to ensure they got into the goo, and once they were dry I glued a couple of orc skulls on one and another bigger miscellaneous skull on the other. I gave them a layer of white scar and once dry a brief wash of Nuln oil, and then dipping a cocktail stick in my increasingly thickening contact cement, I added blobs and left them to dry a little so I could stretch strands out to the skulls and to the other areas of stone to represent torn tissue. Treant green on the orc gore and then a wash of warp lightning. Corn red and Nuln oil on the other skull, and Here we have my trio of living artillery platforms. Each creature is just a giant transport, guided forward to seek an ideal position from which the bioplasmic cannon biomorph can peer around, seek viable targets, and begin to unleash devastating barrages of plasmic annihilation over vast distances.